I wish I had a mullet.
That's funny. Damn it, I wish you did too, dog.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out? You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You think you just fell out? You just fell out of a coconut tree?
This film came out in 2005, and it stars Luke Wilson, Maya Rudolph, Terry Allen Cruz, okay, right. and Dax Shepard.
And of course, this movie was written and directed by the guy who voices Beavis and Butthead.
It is so relevant now than even more than it was back then. This film follows a guy named Joe, an average Joe,
a regular Joe.
He's in the military, and he is selected to basically get into this program where they freeze dry humans until the future. Maya Rudolph is not a military person at all. She's a streetwalker, okay? Right. And she's in this program because she's trying to get some money, okay? Right. He's only supposed to wake him up after a year, but the program got shut down, and they are basically kicked into the future where the world has become dumb.
Yeah, what's interesting about this movie is it's supposed to be a comedy, but I can't lie to you, bro. I didn't laugh one time. I'm not sure if I even chuckled one time. This is a deeply pessimistic view of the future. The comedy is deeply offensive.
Very much so.
And a lot of it has aged like milk.
Like spoiled milk, boy.
But at the same time, strangely, the movie itself has never been more relevant than right now. But not as a comedy. I couldn't help, like, I could feel my heart beating when I was watching this. It felt like a horror film. Like, it felt like a warning or something. So while this movie is deeply offensive and the comedy has aged so bad that I can't tell where the punchlines are anymore, I think I loved this movie. It's just bizarre, right? This is truly the weirdest, most bizarre viewing experience I've ever had. Personally, this is my first time watching Idiocracy. I had an idea of what it was about. The depth of the stupidity in this film is, again, I guess, the joke. Water has largely been replaced with Gatorade, also known as Brawno. And our main character,
because it has electrolytes,
right?
It's got what plants need,
right? And when he tries to tell people, "Hey man, you got any water?" everyone looks at him with this vacant look, like the stuff from the toilet. The punchline for this movie is how difficult it is to talk to and communicate with dumb people. You would think being the smartest person would empower him, but actually it leaves him incredibly underpowered. It leaves him without the tools he needs to connect to these psychopaths that run our country now. And I found that annoyingly relevant.
Yeah, I think as soon as I saw a lot of the trash and debris, that reminded me of WALL-E. If you don't take care of your planet, if you don't take care of yourselves, your mental status, if you don't educate yourselves, and if you don't participate in, you know, your democracy, if you live in a democracy, then this is going to happen. This type of stuff is going to happen.
This is where the humor in the movie just does not work for me at all. Because the movie also equates stupidity with a proximity to blackness. Everyone uses slang.
But the English language had deteriorated into a hybrid of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various crumbs.
And obviously our president is black. The movie tries to foreshadow America's future by having this scientist hang out with this pimp named Upgrade. And we learn that the scientist has gotten close to the pimp and has become friends with the pimp. And as he gets closer to the pimp, he makes more and more mistakes and he does stupider things.
Okay, my niggas, we're almost set here. Just go ahead and lie down, relax.
And the way the movie shows that he's close to the pimp, he's got like a gold tooth and he says the N-word very casually. And again, the humor in this film does not work for me at all on any level. The humor, I found this to be a deeply unfunny movie. And I think, and this is the reason why I actually still do like this movie, I did like that people do throw around slurs and say horrific racist stuff casually and sexist stuff casually, because that's what they do now.
Why you keep trying to read that word? You a your face.
You talk like a and your shit's all retarded.
And they don't seem to realize that's what they're doing.
100%. She was a DEI hire.
The millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border, they're taking black jobs now.
Big black big black big black fucking fat big black
And so
that is a reality.
Yeah. So I, in a strange way, liked it. I just did not find it funny. I feel like that's an important distinction.
He gets arrested because he didn't pay his doctor bill. All the vernacular in the courtroom was slang.
I'm fixing to commensurate this trial here. We gonna see if we can come up with a verdict up in here.
It was offensive. Yeah, it was offensive when you look at it now.
So this movie is full of like lowbrow humor, and I can't tell if the movie knows that it's making fun of you, the viewer, for liking this movie. Like, the movie seems to be condemning you for thinking it's funny. And I wonder how many people can realize that.
And the #1 movie in the country was called Ass. And that's all it was.
Right, we talked recently about how a lot of people watching The Boys are just now realizing that the movie is making fun of them, right? And like, I wonder how many people would know that this movie is laughing at you and it's judging you for thinking it's funny. Because while the internal fictional world is consumed with lowbrow humor and consumerism and anti-intellectualism, so is the real world. When I listen to the discourse around movies like Fight Club and how people don't realize that the movie's making fun of the kind of people who would like a movie like Fight Club, it makes me think, oh yeah, there's no way people will understand this. There are real corporate logos in the film. So that means a lot of these companies chose to have their company featured in the movie.
Wow.
Without knowing how they were going to be portrayed.
They probably knew. They probably read the
No,
script.
they didn't. And that's the point of the film here. In that when they found out, Fox tried to bury this movie. What's interesting about this film, it has no trailers. It has no posters. It has no promotional anything. There are 2 stills that were released to promote this movie. Fox tried its hardest to bury this film. Because I think when they realized that Fox News was going to be portrayed like that. The women are dressed like bimbos and the men are half naked, I think they were like, what? And then apparently I heard Costco was shocked at how they were portrayed with a guy being like, welcome to Costco. I love you.
I love you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
and so ironically, the very same forces this movie is trying to mock and make fun of unknowingly participated in the film. Like,
which is the underlining issue with Idiocracy.
This is the most meta thing I feel like I've ever seen. I'm also surprised to learn that science in the world of Idiocracy still exists, but it's for pro-erection pills
and hair
loss. And the movie carries that joke all the way through. Everyone in this movie is obsessed with having sex. Obsessed. And everyone has long, shaggy, unkempt hair. Even the president. Those little details I like a lot. I'm so split. I'm just like of 2 minds about this film. On one level, I hate this film, and it's truly the worst movie I've ever seen. And on the other, I think it might be required viewing. From the beginning, it really points out how stupidity and violence go hand in hand. And the police in this film look just like our modern police. Every solution, shoot it. Just shoot it. And then our healthcare system, if you can't afford to pay your healthcare, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Wow, it's so shockingly relevant.
He had to go in and have an IQ test, and the IQ was like, if you have a bucket that has 5 liters and another bucket that has 3 liters, how many buckets do you have? He's like, 2? And that type of questionnaire made him the smartest person on earth. So President Camacho, he was like, yeah, you're gonna fix all this stuff.
He was tasked with figuring out how to make plants grow. At first, he was like, how the heck? I don't know anything about plants. I'm not a botanist. I can't solve your Dust Bowl thing. But when he goes out to look at the plants, they're watering the plants with Gatorade. One of the big problems with society is that all these corporations have literally bought pieces of our government. Like the FDA was purchased by Brawno or whatever Brawny or whatever the Gatorade company is. He had such a hard time convincing people to use water instead of Gatorade, and they all use the same logic where they're like, but Brownie says Gatorade is what the plants need. And it's like, well, how do you know? Because that's what Brawny said. I'm like, okay, well, don't you think they've got a vested interest?
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
The movie underestimated just how stupid people would be. Because at the end of the film, he proves that water can make plants grow by showing a video of a plant growing out of the ground, right?
Right.
This would not work today. No one would accept that as evidence. That would be fake news. That would be some sort of CGI thing. They'd be like, no, not real. No,
not real.
So
not real.
The movie, while completely condemning society,
it was staged.
Strangely, they would say that too. Strangely enough, I'm just like beside myself. It does not go far enough. And like, how depressing is that? The movie is also not as smart as it thinks it is, because we all know today IQ tests are complete bullshit. They don't really test your intelligence at all, but the movie posits that IQ tests do. The movie also posits that intelligence can somehow be inherited. And we know that's not true either. So while this movie isn't the smartest movie in the world, and it doesn't need to be, because some of the points it makes about the rampant consumerism, about how cool it is to be dumb, is so relevant that the movie is still incredibly powerful. Even with these very obvious intellectual mistakes the movie makes, even though all the humor, and I do mean all of it, has aged so bad. Despite all of that, the movie still works. And that is just incredible.
Well, you have Kid Rock, performing for 15 people. It's possible.
No. Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan are headlining a major party's convention. Like, yikes. But I don't think the movie expected us to be as close to that reality as we are today.
How do you feel about this film?
Yes.
Get in the comments and let us know for sure what you thought of Idiocracy, please.
That's what I thought.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really appreciate you guys. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers because you guys are looking at our shorts, looking at these videos, commenting on them, and it's great. Thank you so much. So if you're new to seeing our faces, get down there and subscribe. It's right there. Get us to 1,000. And if you did like this review for this film, please hit the thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down, whichever you choose. It is your opinion, but just remember one thing. It is mostly wrong. Really, people, please don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.